I love printing. I love printing. I love it. I love printing. Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Printer to Printer with me, Warren Werbitt, also known as the Print Whisperer, wherever it's written. Today I have another special guest. You know all my guests are special because we're in print. But today I have Matt Noonan. Hello, Matt. Matt is from J.S. McCarthy. And he was a commercial print, then he got into commercial and print. In any case, I wanted to have him on because I've known him a couple years. We met just out of the blue, and I think he's a really super guy, and I think he's a great asset to our entire industry, to me as a friend, to his company. Matt, what's happening?
Hey, man. Thanks for the intro, brother.
Hey, I always do my best.
You were the start of something new in my life for the next 15, 20 years. You know, I've been doing this over 20 years, from graphic design to pre-press to printing. And, you know, you met me at a life when I was at a crossroads, and I didn't know you. You went out of your way to help me and change my life in ways that I can't repay you for. So thank you, brother.
Well, for starters, I think in life, you never really know what comes across your path, and what life is about is how you deal with it. And me personally, anytime I could help someone, I'm happy to help someone. In your case, I'm really happy that everything worked out and that we became friends.
Yeah,
so, you know, whatever I did for you, you did back for me. So thank you. So you've been in it a long time. When we spoke, you were working at a commercial print place, commercial print.
Yeah.
You know, good place at the time, and things changed a little. And then what made you transform into a packaging salesperson from a commercial print salesperson?
That is a great question. I actually thought about leaving the industry. I tried it once and came back. And then I interviewed at a tech company and interviewed with 3 or 4 printers. And I landed at J.S. McCarthy because my gut says this feels right? So I'm a very much a gut guy. I try to go with my gut. And where I was great, but you know, all relationships either grow together or grow apart, and you know, people evolve into other things. And I was ready for a change, so I looked at what was out there. And after doing the same thing for 20 years, do I want to really start over and be in a completely new industry at, you know, age 49, 50? And I thought to myself, hell no, I don't want to throw away the 20 years of experience that I have, right? And packaging, commercial print, like you said in your things, print is dead. It's not dead, it's everywhere. But commercial print, catalogs, books, you know, some of the stuff the colleges do, it's been declining. It's going to keep declining. Will it go away? No, it'll never totally go away. It sits on your shelf. It sits on the coffee table. It's there when you need it. You know, you can just hit delete from emails, but you can't hit delete from what's on your coffee table. You know what I mean? So those books, they have a place. Yeah. But it was harder and harder to keep my sales up with that type of work because there was less and less customers, but still a lot of printers. So what do? You need to be able to sell more than just that. So everyone that I talked to did more than just printing books. They did signage, digital printing. They did other things. So they weren't pigeonholed into just one thing. And I thought for years, that is the way you need to go if you want to survive in the industry. You need to be versatile. You need to evolve. All things in nature have to evolve or die. I mean, that's how it is, right? Humans or not. So I went with J.S. McCarthy, and they had that thought process years ago. They said, how do we grow? This is the story they tell. They say, how do we grow? They said, well, we either got to wait for other printers to go out of business, or maybe we should try something else. So award-winning book printer, you walk through the halls, there's all these Pine Awards, right, of their commercial print. Why did they steer away from commercial print? Their bread and butter. Because growth was in the packaging industry. So I don't know if it was 10 or 15 years ago they started going that way. Now it's over 70% of their work. After 50 years of being in business, 70% of their work is packaging. and growing. I mean, it's a very open company, which I appreciate. Being a young ESOP employee-owned company, after 3 years, I'll be vested, just like other people have been there already for more than 3 years. And it's very much a atmosphere of, in a way, well, not in a way, we are all owners, just different percentages, right? So the whole team's pushing the cart in the same direction. Is it perfect? No, but it's pretty good.
What
Uh,
is perfect?
the
Nothing.
pursuit of always being better is what I would tell my son. You can't be perfect. You can't do the perfect basketball shot every time, but you can do things, drills, different things to be in a pursuit of being better. And that's all I could hope for him, and that's all I could hope for myself and others is you're always in a pursuit of being better, which means you're not stagnant and just complacent, right? So how did we get off topic? The commercial was
Going
declining.
into print. So before you find the topic, I have a question.
Yeah.
The company, this is more company, so maybe you know, maybe you don't, but they went from completely commercial
Yep.
to 75% packaging. From what I know about the packaging world, people that have been in packaging a long time have their niches, have their marks. Some are high volume orders, some are low volume, some are specialty.
Yeah.
How did JS McCarthy find its place, and where is its place within the realm of packaging? The West Rocks, I think it's West Rock,
Yeah.
but those
West
guys
Rock
are
graphic packaging. They're the
right.
giant.
Those guys are doing like the big national chains across the
That's
country.
right.
They're holding tens of millions of dollars of finished product inventory to be shipped.
Yep.
Where does JS fall in?
For a privately held um, packaging printer on the East Coast, we're probably one of the bigger ones. And we're growing. We had two presses. We got rid of the old Komori, bringing in a brand new press. We're going to double our capacity by next year. So we are big and we're growing. But a West Rock and graphic packaging, a medium to large customer for us would probably be a small customer for them.
Right, exactly.
But what's nice about that is a small customer for graphic packaging might have a 12-week turnaround. A big customer for us, really most customers for us, if we have the tooling in house and we have the board, 3 weeks lead time. You just have to have the board. The trick is having the board.
Yes, but I also think that we as commercial printers that went into packaging, we've helped change the landscape of packaging,
Yeah.
because if print was old school, packaging was older school, right? Packaging had the print price, the big packaging companies have plate price, tooling charge, die charge,
Yeah.
everything's a separate line. In your place, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if the plates are just included because you were doing CTP before and that's how they were. The
Oh,
die is set.
all this stuff you're saying. Like, see, I've been doing commercial print 20 years, so it's kind of like starting over, right? Like I got to build my client base. I got to learn their lingo. I got to learn what's important to them. But what you're saying is I'm finding people, I give them a quote and they're like, is pre-press included? Is plates included? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Of course it is. You need that stuff to do the job.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm going to say we screwed up the packaging industry, right? And we've taken away some margin on the setup, the same way some printers started doing that with us when CTP came out, because we used to have plates as a second line.
Yeah.
Then CTP came out and people started taking the $25 plate cost, putting it in their estimates, marking it up, and that was the end of plates. So I see the same thing happening in packaging. But the biggest thing that I see happening in packaging, and not the McDonald type of people that are doing that work, is we're causing the old school packaging guys to turn a little quicker because we're getting the board, and commercial printers are used to turning.
Yeah. I just told somebody that this week. I met them on a Monday. They were in desperate need. By Friday, they had an approved proof, ordered the die, will be producing it next week and delivering it less than 3 weeks because they were almost out of cartons. Their other printer was 8 weeks.
And he was a packaging guy.
Yep.
Yeah, the larger ones are a little more scheduled. I think the purchases are done differently. Do you guys do your own sheeting?
Yeah, we have our own sheeter, baby.
Ah,
And we're
you
40
should have
minutes from
you
Sappy.
should have brought that up first, because having your own sheeting is one of the bigger advantages when you're in packaging,
Yeah. Yep.
right? Aside from time of saving to get the sheets, you're also saving some money on the roll doing your own sheeting. The
For
only thing is, the only thing is when you're on sheeter, you are responsible for your own waste on the roll, so you got to be good.
Yeah, you gotta, yep, and order the roll sizes that you need. It's, being 40 minutes from the Sappy mill that makes SBS is huge for us. It was huge during COVID, man. We had board when other people did not have board. A lot of it was because we saw it coming, and in the beginning when I first got there, I was taking pictures of literally 2 stories high of rolls. I I never had to sign a what do you call it, NDA. So I can tell you that I had a meeting from people I think it was Sweden, that were from Johnson and Johnson. Like, you're talking to this random dude from Maine, or I live in Vermont, but companies from Maine. I got a meeting with Johnson and Johnson. I haven't even been with the company a year yet, but it was because of the shortages. They wanted to buy my board, and we're like, well, I'm not going to sell you the board, but I'll do the printing. Anyway, it didn't work out, but
Whatever.
it was kind of cool that if you could think ahead and provide a service that people are going to need even before they need it, you're on your game, I guess, is what I'd say.
So what's like the best thing to happen to you in the last few years? Because lately, when we chat
You,
now,
you.
okay, because when we chat, like really, you're upbeat. You've been upbeat for the last while,
I'm
and before that, you had some stuff in the family. You had some, the work issues.
well. It's the work can be created with your own drama sometimes. Like, I work for a company. I always work for a company. I don't own the company. So,
But you act like you own the company.
not
Not from a spending perspective, from a loyal and a proud perspective.
not in a negative way. You know what it is?
Correct.
My very first job out of college, one of the owners said, "Look, you should all think like owners because you will act differently at your job. You'll actually do your job better, right?" So if I was thinking where I was working about how can I grow my business, how can I help my customers more, and something didn't jive in my brain, I didn't really want to do it, right? Because it didn't make sense to me. Like, I'm a
Mm-hmm.
good soldier as long as I believe in the orders. So, needless
Question.
to say, COVID rocked my world because of my daughter. You've known about my daughter uh, at age 22 after COVID went away. Last year, she passed away of lung failure, not due to COVID, but if she had got COVID, it would have taken her out. Lifelong struggle since the day she was born. And my old company helped me through it, and I respect them, and I'll always value them for helping me through it in some of my hardest times with her when she was young, needing to have back surgery and different things. But COVID locked us down because if she got sick or I brought it to her, it was game over. She was already hanging on by a thread because of being wheelchair ridden since birth. Like, her lungs were weak. So, wearing masks was nothing new to me because that's how I kept
Right.
her healthy. So we're all home. My work went away because of COVID because I was doing commercial print. And the first thing people do when the economy slows down, they stop printing. They stop doing the view books, like, screech to a halt. So I had time to think about my life and where do I want it to go. I was emotionally in a bad place, and work wise, I needed something new. I just was burnt out from doing the same thing for 20 years.
You needed something fresh.
I did, and I got it, and I got positive people around me that think the way I think. I, I don't have to question. I mean, it's awesome. My customer rep thinks of things before I do and just does it. I don't know how to explain. Like, I love to hunt. I'm a hunter printer, right? So I have a chalkboard wall over here. The room I'm in was my daughter's bedroom. Okay, so I go to work with her every day. and she helps me. And on my wall, I have a chalkboard wall, and I write how many people I reach out to, uh, how many minutes a day I work out because my body's important too, and how many meetings a day I can get. And I add it up for each month. And then I also have sales totals. I put a goal for myself. I want to sell $1 million worth of print by the end of this year. Company wanted me to sell 850,000. Experienced rep, they say by year 2 you should be able to do it. All the printers I met with thought, oh, all your work's going to follow you. That didn't happen, doesn't happen. So it's really like starting over. So, and last year was forget about it with all the tragedies. How do you sell? Well, I keep track of it. It keeps me on track. This end of this month, I'm at 900,000 and I got 4 months to go, because that was August. So,
And sorry, I'm going to cut you off, but the key there for everyone to listen is these are not the customers that you've known for 20 years.
no, it's almost all packaging.
Okay, so for people listening, I don't ever want to hear anyone say they can't. I mean, I'm sitting here with a live role model individual whose life was in the shits upside down, who always, by the way, always had a positive attitude. I take my hat off because the stuff you've been through, I don't know if I could be that strong. But I look at you now and you know what? I'm so proud that I met you and you've done what you've done because you've hit a home run. You got your wife and your son and they're awesome. And
They are awesome.
you remember everything about Nicole, and then you go into this new place and you basically do a life change. But to go find all that business, I don't ever want to hear anyone say they can't do it or they can't find it or it's not out there, because you're a living example today of what can be done, what's being done, not can, what is being done daily. And
You have to want it though.
You
And
have to want it.
want to put the time in. You have to reinvent yourself. Like I'm on this podcast with you. Like that's scary. I'm putting myself out there. I'd always said, hey, I want to put content on the internet. Well, I'm doing it now. I reach out to people, phone, email, text, LinkedIn. I have yet to do smoke signals, but I will try to get a hold.
I'll do those for you. I'm in Canada. It's easy. But I'll mention like even LinkedIn, because I see all your posts. Your posts are heartfelt posts. If it's about something about your daughter, the car sponsorship where you don't have no sponsor, you wrote to a tire company, and because of you, they sponsored you with the tires for the race.
Yeah.
The stuff I watch, I didn't know the name J.S. McCarthy before you ended there, and before you started there, and you're posting in the factory, in the press room, the new press. It's as if you own the company and are the leader. And I'm loving it because it just makes me think a little of myself in terms of passion, of drive, right? I'll leave out the craziness like me, but it's just really good. And to see what you've been through and what you're doing and where you are, man, you are you should be a role model for everyone in this industry.
Hey man, we all go through stuff and we don't get through it alone. That's the thing.
Oh man, that is the truth. Hey, you have to have something in you, everybody, to be open a little to receive.
Yeah. Nicole taught me a big lesson in her life, taught many others as well, and something I never want to forget. And anybody listening, I want you to hear these words is that, we always need the next thing to be happy, right? Oh, I want the next car. I want the next blah, blah, blah. My daughter couldn't walk, talk, or feed herself, do anything for herself. But she could smile. Okay? What do we do for everybody we love? We just try to make them smile, right? Well, all she needed was a bumpy ride in her wheelchair to make her happy. So why do I need a new car or need this or that or the other thing? Yes, I want those things, but do I need them to be happy? No. I need to appreciate the little things in life and then I'll be happy. Well, for me anyway. Maybe it doesn't work for everyone.
No, I've been through enough to I was saying to someone the other day with all the stuff I've been through, if I don't travel again ever, right, I won't be happy, but I'll certainly be grateful for all the places I've been and what I've experienced and I've seen in the world, right? Yeah. I'm now starting, and with all the stuff I've been through too, I look backwards at the lineup behind me and appreciate the path I've taken and where I'm at. and I'm not really looking at the stairs up, although a little bit maybe. But every stair going up comes with a whole lot of other angst and aggravation and grief.
Yeah.
And personally, if it's life, business, personal, I just want to try to be as less aggravated as possible
Yeah,
and have
man.
as little stress as possible, because the world's a crazy place and I can only worry about what I could control, which is me.
This we speak the same language, man. That's
You
one thing I
know,
wanted out of life past COVID was I don't want to bring stress into my life if I don't have to. It's just going to find its own way in, but I need to not create it myself. So,
cool. Okay, I have a question. I'm going to go back to your new customers.
yeah, yeah.
Have you asked any of them why they're dealing with you?
I should ask that question. That's a good question. I just assumed it's because of all the reasons that I like being there, right? We're responsive. You know what? I have asked because my bigger customers, through the advice of J.S. McCarthy, well-managed company, I have a sales manager and definitely helps me keep me focused, like salespeople need focus. My bigger customers, he says, it's important. You should have a checkup meeting. Just check in, see how you're doing, ask for feedback, positive or negative. And there was a couple of things they wanted to tweak about the process, but there was no big negatives. It was a lot of, yeah, your responsive time is big, your quality's great. We're trying to bring new, like I have a pharmaceutical customer, like, yeah, the big thing about J.S. McCarthy is when we want to get something to market quickly, you guys can actually get it to market quickly. And that's been a huge upsell for them because that impacts their business in a positive way, right? So yeah, we have asked and we have heard, and they've even put out surveys to say how could we do things better. Like some printers might say you're asking for trouble. Like if they're not complaining, what are you asking for? But how are you going to get better if you don't ask?
That's the problem with the old school thinking in our industry, right?
Yeah,
When you could ask your customers how you're doing, is there anything better you could do? Is there anything that you're not doing well? Is
yeah,
there a problem? I'm going to say 9.7 out of 10 are going to be grateful and thrilled that you're inquiring because you want to know,
yeah.
right? I think we also on our own side want to deal with other companies, whatever we buy, whatever we do, where we feel like we're being heard, like we feel like people appreciate what we're doing,
Sounds like a marriage.
right? You know what? It is. I know I can make a joke, but maybe not for
No,
this
no,
for
no.
this
No,
podcast.
but for real, it's well until AI takes over, it's humans interaction with humans, right? They say, what's your target market? I said, any human that wants to work with another human that actually cares about you and your work. I mean, I do. At the end of the day, I want to make my commission and, spend it on my kid and my wife and my race car. But when I don't have commissions, I still hang out my wife and my kid and just not my race car. But
Right.
I do care about my customers and I care that they succeed, right? They're not just a paycheck for me.
Listen, all those cliches that exist when you're in good times and in bad times, you never really want to hear them,
Yeah.
but they're true. If your client's happy, then you're happy, and then the company's happy,
Yeah.
right? It's pretty simple. Okay, so quickly, we're gonna get off the print for a sec. You race what in what series? I want people to know that you have no sponsors. So if there's any paper companies that want to be anywhere, call them up and put your label or paper, stick it to his car, wrap his car in coated. I don't care.
Right.
But tell me a little bit about the racing.
All right. So my racing, I called it once my balanced dream because I've always wanted to race cars. My mom tells the story. I went to bed with a plastic three-wheeler, not a stuffed animal. I guess it's a true story. And one of my first words was Corvette. So I guess it was just in there. So I race with the BMW Club, and it's supposed to be modeled after vintage racing where you're not supposed to be crashing into each other because I can't afford to fix my car. So it's BMW Club Racing, and it's we race in Canada, like at Mossport, and then pretty much any road course racetrack in North America we go to, from Watkins Glen to Mid Ohio, etc.
Cool.
Um, and I've been doing that since 2016. Made it as high as third place overall in the series, and I won the Canadian Championship the one year they actually had 3 races there. Um, yeah, I'm very competitive. All I need now is more tires and more race fuel.
I was going to say fresh rubber, right? Because
It's
that's
always it's like 3 to 5 seconds a lap difference when you have fresh rubber, but it's not televised and things of that nature. But it's all people like me that want to live a
but it's
dream.
fun.
Yeah, it's fun. You're around other people, have a common interest. Um, and
Yeah, I was just up at the Mont Tremblant track.
yeah, that I
Uh,
won at that track. That track's awesome.
okay, well, I was there for car day, and it was a special day, and whatever is all these Ferraris you're driving, and we didn't get to top end them. But my first time driving, actually, I drove on an SRT Rototax kart track, but smaller karts. But on a racetrack with the cars,
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. The banks, the turns, the up, the track. Anyway, very cool. All I could say is good thing I'm not a race car driver because I'd be broken dead. Right?
it is.
Only because I like the speed. When I used to have the motorcycle, I had to sell it because I was just too fast at the stop sign to stop sign.
You don't. I used to do what you're talking about. They have it now, like a performance driving schools. That's do before I race. When I was 20s, really drove bad, too fast. Once you go on a racetrack, you almost don't need to go fast on the street because the level you can take it at a racetrack, it makes the street boring
Exactly.
and it's safe. You don't have a telephone pole jumping out in front of you.
No, and the track is actually even with no bumps.
Yeah,
So,
Tremblant, man, that is an awesome track. It's just too bad people bought houses right next to the track and wondered why is it so loud around here. I don't know.
yeah,
You bought a house next to a racetrack?
Hey, maybe, and I'm just going to put it out there, but if everyone at the company at JS McCarthy's listening, we could use a little bit of a sponsorship. That's me asking them, not you. So make me the bad guy.
No,
Anyways, listen, we could go on and on and on. But just first of all, I just want to thank you for coming on and putting yourself out there. Because if I could help you do that, and you want to do that, that's great.
yeah, thanks.
I am so thrilled and I'm so proud of you because of where you were and where you put yourself and the whole place. So you make my day. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks for keeping the word out there that print is alive.
Never going to die. To everybody else out there, I hope you enjoyed this different edition of Printer to Printer. If anybody has anything they want to know, if anyone wants to be on, if anyone has any great stories, please give me a call. If anybody wants to sponsor Matt, please give him a call or get to me and I'll get him. But you want to watch him race. Listen, your daughter's forever in my memory. Important to say that. Thank you for coming on. To everybody else, just thanks for participating and thanks for supporting me throughout all of this. Matt, thank you. And Warren Werbitt, what they think. I love print. See you soon.